It's that time again for Tiny Little Victories, episode 2. Hurrah! I have a little housekeeping for you guys today before we get going, and I just want to let you know that we are on a crop, a bevy, a roost of podcasting platforms for you to listen to Tiny Little Victories. Isn't that great? It's great. We're on Anchor by Spotify. Go Spotify. We're on Spotify, which is amazing. Google Music, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio. I love that. Although it's not radio, I still love iHeartRadio. We're also on Overcast and Stitcher and iTunes. It took forever to get on iTunes. They make it so difficult. You have to triple verification. You got to give your shoe size. You've got to do voice encryption. It's mad. It's just mad. And I've listened to a lot of podcasts there. It's amazing that they made it there. You might be thinking, how did this make it there? Well, if you jump through all these hoops, you can get there. So we jumped through all the hoops and we're there. So I hope you go and listen, and you can share this with your friends and your family or your enemies or all those people that you love and hate. Your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your partner, whoever you're with at the moment. That would be awesome. And stay tuned, because coming up next is Tiny Little Victories' first guest, Orly Ariely. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Tiny Little Victories. I'm so excited because our first guest today is here. She's actually in Boston, but she's from Israel, and this is Orly Ariely. Hello, Orly.
Hi, Jennifer. How are you?
I'm so good. I'm so happy that you flew over from Israel to land in Boston and talk to me today on a Sunday from your hotel room. So I understand that you've just woken up. Is that like the life of a flight attendant? Like flying into a place and then just waking up?
Yes, it is. Usually when we get off a flight, we just go directly to bed, crash there for a few hours.
And then what?
To go out and about.
Oh, to go tour the town. So I think one of the things that everybody may not know about you is that I've known you for what? How long have we known each other? Over 20 years, maybe?
Over 20 years.
Yeah. And you had a very successful marketing and communications career, and you were working in telecommunications with Orca Interactive, with way back in the day when we were talking about interactive TV when nobody was using their phones.
Exactly.
And everybody thought that was so space age that you could have interactive TV, but there were no smartphones then. And then you have sort of traded that all with a lot of different moves. You lived in New York, Tenafly, New Jersey, and now you're back in Israel. So I guess what I want to ask you is why? What made you leave your marketing communications world and decide to pivot to become a flight attendant? What sort of decisions led you to that job?
Okay. Well, it wasn't straight from marketing communications to flight attendant. When we moved to New Jersey, I realized that I have to be there for the kids.
Yeah.
Because it was a tough transition.
Yeah.
And I wasn't looking for a full-time job. I wasn't looking for a job at all at the beginning.
Yeah.
Then my friend kind of landed in my lap a brand of jewelry that she wanted us to distribute in the U.S.
I remember that line of jewelry. It was so made from Israeli artists, right? Using leather and beads and things. Yes. Yeah. That's still a change, though, from marketing communications. It's still a shift.
Yeah. Well, I always liked fashion.
Yeah.
I always was interested. I was always looking and reading, and when I go to Saks Fifth Avenue, for me, it's kind of like going to a museum.
Yeah. That's a good way to look at it. I love that.
It is.
And I remember in New Jersey, your whole entire third floor was turned into this sort of mecca it was a showroom, and you even had Israeli designer clothes and all
And it evolved, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And when we moved back, it wasn't, I don't know, it didn't work anymore when I was in Israel and this was in the US.
Yeah.
So I I was starting to look what at things to do, and there was a lot of people were looking to create websites and online stores.
Yeah.
And I taught myself how to do it when I did it for my business in the US.
Yeah.
So I started doing it for a while, and then actually I have a friend. She was a flight attendant. She was actually a flight service manager, and she was always posting pictures like, I love my job, and she posted pictures from all kinds of places in the world.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, I can like this job as well.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing I remember about you is you're really good at taking care of things. Like you're really good at organizing, making people feel safe, taking care of things. I remember working at the booth at IBC in Amsterdam at the RAI with the booth, which you managed for Orca Interactive. And it got to this point where everyone had to have lunch, like between, like 11:30 and 2, but there were all these meetings, and you would literally grab people, like put a sandwich in their hand, like just to make sure they would eat. But part of me always thought is because you're like, get back out there and be productive. Like you're very nurturing, but you're also like, now get back to work. So I can see where being a flight attendant would fit into your personality because of the way you like to take care of things and nurture people at the same time. But also you instill a lot of confidence in people. So I think that's probably also a good trait in a flight attendant as somebody who's afraid to fly. So.
Well, actually there are a lot of people who are afraid of flying.
Yeah.
And actually there are flight attendants that went and became flight attendants to overcome this fear.
Really?
Yes.
That's like to get a job to help you overcome the fear of flying. That's commitment.
Yes.
Well, in terms of, okay, so this is really good story. You're right. Starting from marketing comms and then sort of shifting when you guys moved to the States into the fashion, like feeding your inner fashion soul, and then shifting back once you guys moved back to Israel. I mean, it makes sense that you would then take all that experience to create these websites, but then also it would also make sense thinking about watching people fly to these beautiful places because you're very stylish, you're very fashionable. I mean, I've spent lots of time with you where you're like, wear those pants, wear that skirt, go to my hairdresser, like that sort of thing. And I often feel like you've made me a better looking person because of your, straight up design and style consultations, which were just out of the goodness of your heart.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, well, it's true. And I think that, I guess, seeing you as a flight attendant, what are some of the things that you've been able to use from your past jobs as a flight attendant today? Like, are there any things you've had to learn differently, or like sort of a, oh my God moment?
I don't really think so, because, there's not much, as a flight attendant, there's not a lot of room for, doing things that are, not in the book.
What, you mean like you have to?
There are ways to think creatively,
yeah,
but usually it's to solve a problem.
That's interesting.
Okay, because there is a book that says what you're supposed to do and when you're supposed to do it and how you're supposed to do it. It's all it's all very. It's very like linear. You have to like do this, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, and but sometimes there are situations when you need to solve a problem that when either a real problem or just somebody who's angry at something.
Okay, that's a problem, right? I guess what I want to do is take a break right now and then come back, and I have some questions for you about like, what's it like flying up there now? Is it like mostly people being angry, or is it like you're out of Diet Coke, or what is it? So we're going to take a break, and we're going to come back in just a few minutes to hear what Orly has to tell us about maybe some of the craziest things she's witnessed as a flight attendant high up in the air. Back in a minute. Okay, we're back with Orly Ariely. By the way, Orly's original name before she married her amazing husband, Sefy, used to be Orly Factor. And when I first met her, I thought she was related to Max Factor. You're not related to Max Factor, are you?
No.
That's such a cool name. I always thought that was a great name, Orly Factor.
Yes.
But Sefy's cool too, so Sefy Ariely's also very
Just,
cool.
just imagine all the jokes that went around in high school.
Yeah, okay, well, tell me, give me some of them. What were some of the jokes?
Well, it was in Hebrew. It's kind of hard to translate, but it had the factor in it.
Oh, okay, I understand. Yep. I don't know how many people can speak Hebrew listening to this show, but we understand where you're coming from with that one. So one of the things that I wanted to ask you was, I have been afraid to fly, but I've been flying, and then I always get up and go talk to the flight attendants in the back, mostly because I don't want to sit in my seat and feel the bumps, but two, I'm bored. So I wanted to ask you, what is are people good or kind or fussy, or what sort of human things do you witness in the air, and how are you able to get those guys back on their feet if someone's panicking or they drunk too much, or what are some of the things that you've experienced?
Well, actually, most people are very kind, very appreciative. They get off the flight, they always thank us. And it's most people are really, really, really nice.
That's good that's good to hear.
They are, and there is the occasional drunk.
Is there one every flight, or just one out of 5?
It doesn't happen often because we don't serve as much alcohol anymore.
Yeah, that's interesting. And is that person usually in first class or in coach that's drinking too much?
Usually coach, but because I'll tell you why. Because we don't allow you to drink alcohol that you brought with you. Unless we don't see it and you sneak it in.
Right, exactly. Getting drunk in the bathroom, right?
Yeah, but and in business class and in premium, when they do serve alcohol, they serve it to you, so they know how much you drank.
Yeah.
And I had there was one time a guy that came to me. He was holding his chest. He was all sweaty. He didn't feel well, and we got somebody. We got a doctor. There was a doctor on the flight, and at some point he checked him out, and at some point he said, "Well, he's drunk."
Oh my God! The doctor's like, "Why did I raise my hand for this?"
Yes. So.
What do you do with people like that? Where do you put them? Do you just have to take them in the back and feed them coffee, or do you tie their hand? What do you do with people like that?
We just gave him water. We gave him Coke because it was a little bit nauseous, and he went to sleep, and he woke up fine.
Oh, well, that's a relief. And when did you start flying? Did you start flying before COVID or after COVID ended?
Well, actually, I started a course before COVID, and they shut it down about a week before it ended because, COVID.
Yeah, because COVID. I like that. COVID.
And then I studied digital marketing.
Really?
Online. I did a 6-month course online of digital marketing.
Mm-hmm.
And I did that for a while. And then I received an email that they are ready to take us back. So I went back and I did the course from the start.
I love that. Nothing seems to ever phase you, really. You just sort of I'll just do digital marketing for a while until they're ready to go back up again. That's one of the things I think that's so many of the things I see in you are these little victories. You see everything as a victory, and you just keep building on that till you get where you want to go. That's one of the things I sort of think of you as someone that just builds on things as you go along. I really admire that.
Thank you. Well, I try.
Yeah.
I really wanted it.
Right. Why? Why?
Well, at the beginning, it seems like it's fun. And then when I did digital marketing and websites, and I had all these clients,
Yeah.
and people were calling me. You know how it is.
Yeah,
People
clients are the
in
worst.
PR,
Yeah.
People were calling me on a Saturday
Yeah.
at 11 p.m. and asking me about the campaign. And I'm curious about the campaign. I'm having dinner with my family,
I know. You know what?
I had a bottle of wine. Why are you calling me?
But that's sort of that business, right? Like you remember clients are they're the worst, right? They're the worst and the best because there's almost no boundaries anymore. Especially, I mean, I remember when we were working together, you know, again, the smartphone wasn't really there and we were working in an 11-hour time zone, but the fact that people just think, you know, they can check in with somebody, like you said, having dinner and a bottle of wine about a campaign, it's like, it can wait till Monday. Like there's nothing, they can't wait till Monday.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and you know, and WhatsApp, that everybody's sending you messages.
Yeah.
And you know, you then you think, should I open it? Should I not? If I open it, he will see that I read it and I didn't respond. But so at some point it was too much.
It's invasive, I think.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Very.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I had a client who would record WhatsApp messages at 4 a.m.
Oh my God, that sounds like Elon Musk.
No, he was mean though.
See, there you go. Maybe it was Elon. Maybe it was like a clone of Elon Musk. I don't understand. You know, I left the business myself as well because it was just too toxic in the end. You know, when as technology progressed, versus when we started working together in 2000 to, you know, where we are now. I mean, people like you said, recording text, just sending them. I actually got in the habit of I turn my phone off at a certain time every night. I just turn it off. I turn it off.
Me too.
Yep, and I don't even put it in the bedroom. I put it all the way somewhere else. And
well, I don't turn it off. I silence it, and you know, the kids and my husband can get through.
Yeah,
and
well,
my father.
yeah. I mean, I feel like nobody needs to reach me, so mine literally turns off. And I tell people, hey, my phone's off, and it's not going to be on the next day until I've meditated for 10 minutes and my head's on straight and I've had coffee. I would not want to be working in the business that we worked in now with all of these avenues for communications disruption.
It was too much.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I received the email that El Al is recruiting again.
Yeah.
And I said, okay. And I think that, you know, there are pros and cons to everything, but
of course,
you get to work with people that they change almost every flight. I mean, theoretically, you can work with a different crew every time you fly.
But that's really nice, though, in a way, right? So nothing's getting stale.
Yeah, well, yeah, you know, it's good and bad because sometimes you meet incredible people and you say, oh my God, I want to fly with them all the time.
Yeah.
But you don't.
Yeah.
And,
why do you think they do that?
I think they do it mostly because different people have different schedules, you know, and you know, they just have to accommodate the schedules of the different people and accommodate the needs of the company.
Yeah, it does seem like as a passenger, everybody looks like they've known each other forever. So I guess that's good because it maybe creates sort of an instant bond with people because you're pulling together to all work this flight to get there safely, to not have any incidents. And I always find the international flight attendants always look a lot happier than domestic flight attendants. That's it. That's
of course, because we get to stay overseas.
Exactly. They just like, I got to get out of here.
Yeah.
What?
But you know, one of the reasons that you get this feeling that everybody know each other is because we all know what to do and when we have to do it.
That's probably true. Yeah.
So you know, when you get a crew that everybody has a job on the plane and it's structured. You get it before, and each of us know what to do, and we're all helping each other always.
Yeah. And so that's so different than marketing communications because nobody's helping anybody.
It is. And you know, you get off the plane and you're done.
Yeah. That's nice. So you've end, you can go, you can relax, and then you can refresh and then start again.
Exactly.
I read an article somewhere where they were talking about the disruption of social media and all of these communications tools in the inherent nature of wanting to start something and finish something. That we tend to we're always in an arc, right? Because then you can go down this road, do something else, and then you could come back to that. And so you never quite get to that like beginning and end, the thing that we're sort of programmed in our DNA to want closure. And it sounds like this type of job brings that sort of inherent closure, start and end, rest, start and end.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. And I did keep a few of the customers that I liked.
Yeah.
So I am doing that.
Oh, that's good. So you're doing that at the same time.
Yes. I'm managing. I'm not doing campaigns much because after doing it for 2 years, I realized I don't really like it.
Only 2 years? Only took 2 years? Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I love
but
that.
I do like the websites.
Yeah, I mean, I also, again, it's you can see the end of your work, right? It's you create it, you see it, it works, and then so you've got some physical representation of the work that you've done. And actually, I love that you're doing that because I'm a big believer in being a multi-careerist. Like, why do you have to just have one job? And I think you're the perfect example of someone that, you know, can do many things. You can be a flight attendant. You can be a digital marketing website expert. You can also love fashion and have like a showroom up in your attic. Like, there's all of these things that we can do and be. And I love that you've done all of those. So I want to ask you one question before we end here. And that is, what do you think, did you feel like you have a series of little victories that led you where you are? Can you think of just something that you feel really helped you, a victory that helped you become the person that you are today? Or maybe there just wasn't one thing.
I think it was a lot of things.
Yeah.
I think, that
Tiny little victories.
I think that my main victory is the person I married. And you know him.
I do.
And he is unbelievable. He's always supporting.
He is.
He's always enabling. He's always behind me. And I think this enables me to do all the little things that I do.
Yeah, I love that.
Without being afraid or without even thinking about it.
I love that. And now that I'm thinking about it, we should definitely have Sefy on this show because you're absolutely right. This human is so positive and so supportive. And he's what I call he's the only man I know that's actually an active listener. And I think it's great that you say that's your main victory because that unification has actually created so many beautiful things in your life. And I think that's great. So we'll have to talk to him and see if he'll come on and talk because he's also a multi-careerist and he's also done so many interesting things, with his life as well. So we'll need to make this a family affair. So this was great. And I know you're jet lagged literally because you just got off a plane, and I can't thank you enough for taking the time and sharing this experience with us. And I hope you're going to do some shopping while you're in Boston.
Well, hopefully not.
Yes, hopefully not. But if you do, I would support it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Orly. Have a great trip back to Israel.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, that was the end of the second episode, and I hope you enjoyed listening to Ariely and talking about her experiences flying with El Al. I realized that I had actually scripted a lot of those questions, but ended up just sort of tossing them all to the side and talking all over the place, which you could hear. And part of me wanted to delete it and then start over again, but I realized that part of the joy of life is just having things not be perfect. And I think in this age of social media, we often have so much pressure to be perfect, to look perfect, to sound perfect, to be perfect, to have the perfect Sunday. And I don't think that we need to do that. So I'm going to keep this podcast as authentic as I possibly can with all of my mistakes and all of my learning curve with all of this new way to podcast. And I hope that you enjoy that. I left social media many years ago. I left Facebook and Instagram because I felt so much pressure to always look and be a certain way. And I would see other people, and then I would sort of know what was really going on in their lives where the pictures did not match the reality. And it began to really sort of eat away at me. So I made this decision to stop being on Facebook over 11 years ago. And when my Beagle Henry died about 2.5 years ago, I chose to leave that as well. And I have to say, I do feel a lot more positive, a lot more carefree. I definitely have a lot of time back. So I think if maybe you're questioning your value, are you questioning your value as related to what you see on Instagram or Facebook or social media? And I don't think you should. I think you should embrace who you are. I mean, we're all designed to be the way we are, and it's so much better to be around people who love to see all your flaws and are totally okay with them. And I think that's my PSA for today. And the other thing I wanted to bring up was someone recently brought me a bottle of Hochstadter's Slow and Low Rock and Rye. I'm pretty sure it's just like an old fashioned for dummies, which is weird because I really do know how to make an old fashioned, but it's actually quite good. They are not sponsoring this show, just so we're clear. You are not a sponsor of the show, so nobody get worried about that. But basically, you just take this, you pour it in a glass with a big round ice cube or a big square ice cube, peel off a little bit of orange, and you have an old fashioned, and it's quite nice. And they make another one called Coffee Old Fashioned. So if you're into those kind of rye drinks, maybe check it out if you don't feel like getting Angostura bitters and all the other stuff that goes in an old fashioned. Now, little housekeeping at the end. Remember, we are on a bunch of places where you can listen to this podcast. You can share this podcast with your friends. So Google Music, Amazon Music, Spotify, Anchor by Spotify, go Spotify, and Overcast, and iHeartRadio, and iTunes. And I really appreciate all the support you've already given us. I see all the people that are already listening from around the world, and I'm pretty excited about it. And I hope that you guys continue to come back and listen to this Wabi Sabi podcast. Over and out until the next time.